Okay, then let's start the class. Good morning, everyone. Okay. In the previous classes, we discussed about the conditional statements, right? So today we will discuss. I think we discussed only four, like if else, if else, if ladder, and nested if. Today I have to complete the switch, and after the switch statement, we will discuss about the loops and like we have small access modifiers. Okay. So 1 second. Let me share my screen. Now, go to here. We discussed about the conditional statements. So why we use the conditional statements? It will allow the program to take the decision based on the conditions. Okay, and we have state if ladder, and we also seen with small examples. Okay, we just save in with a small example itself, and also we have the switch statement. So today we'll go with the switch statement. So switch statements is when the here we are checking with the every statement we are checking with the condition, right? So when we are subsequential conditions, we are using if else, if else, if else. Okay, but when there are many conditions, so by using if else becomes like if else if ladder it becomes messy, like we need to write if else everywhere when we have many conditions. So in the such cases, so we can use a switch statement. So switch is a cleaner and the faster for the equality checks. It is also checks the conditions. Okay, it is also check the conditions, but it uses the cases to check the values. Okay, it uses the values to check its expression. Whatever the expression we are giving in the switch statement, it will check it out. Okay, let me write out the syntax first, so you will get to know what is actually the switch statements. Okay, it is used to when we have the multiple statements, right? So we use a switch statement, but we can use the if else also in the code. So and it is also switch statement is also in a faster than a if and if else. Okay, so that's the reason we are using the if else, sorry, switch statement. So it is used when you have multiple conditions. When you have multiple conditions. Okay, so when you have multiple conditions, compare. Okay, so it also works with every character. Okay, whatever the expression you are giving, it will works with every data type. Like it works with integer, char, string, and also enum. Okay, and switch statement is faster, right? We can say it as it is faster and a cleaner. Okay, it looks cleaner and faster for equality checks. Now, what is the syntax for the switch statement? So the syntax, the basic syntax of the switch statement is here we need to use a switch keyword. Okay, this is a keyword we have to use, and expression. Okay, and here we need to give the expression to check what is your condition. Okay, so this is a switch statement. Inside we have to use the cases. Okay, which is a keyword again, and here we need to give the value. Okay, whatever the value you want to give it. Okay, here you can give it, and or inside the value, okay, inside the case you need to write the code here. Okay, and compulsory you have to write the break keyword. Okay, it is must. Okay, I will explain you the importance of the break. And here after completion, Okay, one case you have to write a case and the value 2. Okay, for the second value, you have to write the code and the break. This is a break keyword. Okay, and by default, we have another default keyword. Okay, irrespective of the condition, this code will be executed. I will show you the example so it will easily understand to you. Okay, so imagine what we can say. Imagine we have taken one day. Okay, so based on the day numbers in my week, based on the day number, I need to give the Monday. Is it a Monday or Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or if I have given in a day any number greater than 7. Okay, we have only weekdays 7, right? So if I given any number greater than 7, it has to give the invalid data or invalid say invalid. Okay, so I didn't open my Eclipse till now. 1 second. Okay, so here let me take the example as, see, I'm taking the example. I'm taking the input from the user. Okay, I'm taking the input from the user as a day equals to, I just giving the day equals to 4. So when the user enter the 4, I need the day, what day it is on the day 4. Okay, so which means suppose we are giving the cases 1 equals to Monday. Okay, so we need to check like that. Okay, so here I have my day. So here in the expression, what you have to do, first you need to check the switch, right? In the expression, so here we are writing the expression, right? So that expression is nothing but the day. Okay, whatever you want to send it to the switch statement, so you need to here. Okay, you need to send it to the switch statement. Now inside the switch statement, I am using the case. Okay, case 1. If whatever the expression you have, that that sends a value, right? So here that value will be there. Here it will check that expression value. If it is 1, if it is 1, I want to print it out as system.out.println of Monday. Okay, so what I'm doing, if whatever the data is client is entering, if that matches the 1, if he enters the 1, I need to print it out as Monday, right? So that is the reason I'm just printing out the Monday. And come to the case 2, and here the case 2, if he enters a value as a 2, okay, the day value will be stored in this day itself. Okay, it will check with all these cases. Okay, it will check with the all the cases, and then it will print it out. System for the day 2 will print it out as Tuesday. Okay, so just same like this, let me take another 2. Okay, and if we enter 3, we are just checking with the each and every values. Okay, stay. If he enters any default value other than 4 or 5 and 6, okay, here I need to give the default. Okay, here we have the default keyword. Inside the default keyword, whichever it's not matching this, by default it will execute whatever the code is there in your default section. Okay, system.out.println of invalid data. Okay, I'm just giving as a invalid data. Now let me go and execute in my, okay, launch my Eclipse. Okay, let me show it to you. Now, I think this is what JSP1. Let me change my perspective to the Java. And my Java SRC basically created one class here. Switch switch condition statements, right? So I am selecting public static void main and finish. Okay, this is main class, and I want to take user, so I'm just taking the scanner class. Scanner. Okay, now here I need to create the of this class, right? Scanner sc new scanner of the system. We're taking the input from the standard input, so I'm just taking system.in. Okay, now I created the object. Now I created the object. Now I will print it out to the user to enter the number. I'm just printing out to the user, enter, enter the number to enter the number of the day. Okay, so just like that, I just giving the name, and he will enter the date, right? So I'm just putting that into the integer day equal to, by using the object of this scanner class, by object of this scanner class sc dot next int, sc dot next int. So that day will be stored in the day variable. Okay, now here we need to use the switch statement. In the switch, let me give the expression as a day. So whatever the input was given by the user, that was given in here in the expression. Okay, now I have different cases. If based on our requirement, the cases will be varied. Okay, so in my case, okay, when expression was 1, whatever the input was given by the user is 1. If it is 1, I need to print it out as system.out.println as, okay, Monday. Okay, same, just all the cases here. Let me give it as, okay, just imagine as 2, 3, 4, 5, and let me give it as 6, 7. Okay, 6 and 7. For 7, let me give it as Sunday, Saturday, Friday. Okay, Tuesday. Now, see, I have given all the numbers for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now let's try. If he entered 1, it will give output as a Monday. If he entered 2, okay, here also same as an if else condition itself, but here it is in the proper way, and it is an also faster way to retrieve the output. Okay, let me run this Java application. See it asking enter the number of the day. Okay, let me enter as a 7 and enter. So it's giving me the Sunday. Now let me give me the number as 1. Okay, let me give me the number as 1. See what it's printing? It's printing everything: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But we need only Monday, right? If I given the case 1, okay, if I given the day number as a 1, it has to give only Monday. But why it's giving all the days? Because I already explained you in the syntax itself. Okay, in the syntax, see, after the writing your code, in each case you need to write the break. Okay, in the each case, the break keyword. Okay, you need to write the break keyword. So what is the break keyword? So it is used to It is used to come out of that loop. This is one loop, right? So here to here, one loop. Okay, if it is matching this case, if it is matching this case, after printing whatever the code and have this block, okay, in this block you need to come out of this loop. Okay, you don't need to go to and check another cases here. Okay, if my whatever the requirement is matched, okay, then after executing of my code I need to come out of this loop. Okay, so that's the reason we use as a break. So break is an terminations keywords. Okay, in the termination keywords we have break and continue. Okay, so here we use the break. Here we use a break to come out of this loop. Without checking all this condition, it will come out of the loop. Okay, so for every cases it matches for any, if it matches to the two. Okay, here also it has to use a break. So same for the all the cases. So whenever you use the termination key, which is break, is important. Okay, so that's the reason I just given that. Okay, and break here also. Okay, now let's see, run this again and we'll see. Okay, Java application, and let me give that as a 1. Okay, now it's given Monday. So what if I given any number other than 1 to 7? If I given here 0, okay, what, it's not giving anything. It's not giving error, or it's not giving any day name also. Okay, so see, let me run this again and let me give another number as in 9. Okay, it's still not giving because it is out of the scope, which is not in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. So when the data is invalid, okay, whether you are checking in certain range, okay, it's when the data is in the out of range, okay, you want to execute and you have to give the message to the user, right? So in that cases we use a default, okay, irrespective to. Okay, when these cases are not matching, the default will be executed. System dot out dot println as invalid data. Okay, when the cases are not matched, okay, when the cases are not matched, then it will execute the default block. Okay, and we will see that, run it, and 0. Okay, what it's saying as a invalid data. Okay, so this is a switch statement, and we'll take one more example with a string also. Okay, so this is a integer data type, right? So let me take the example with string. Okay, let me comment this and see, think like this. Okay, here we have one application, and if we enter the username as a admin, we need to welcome as a welcome admin. If we entered as a user, we will welcome him with a welcome as a user. If he is not admin and if he is not a user, if he enters something else, okay, we will print it out the output as an unknown role. Okay, unknown role, or we didn't match with our server, or just like that. Okay, let me give it, enter your role. Okay, enter your role. I just ask him to enter your role, and whatever the role he was entered, it was in the string. So let me take it in the next line. Okay, so whatever the strings you have, you want to take it from the user in the console or in the keyboard, okay, from the data. Okay, when you want to take the string data type, you have to use a next dot sc dot next line. Okay, now I need to use the switch keyword. Okay, and here let me take that into the role, and whatever the role he was entering, I am just passing into the switch statement. And here I given the two roles, right? So which is nothing but case 1, if he entered as a admin, string will be stored in the double quotes. Okay, if he entered as a admin, so what we need to print? we need to print it out to the user as println. Okay, println welcome admin. Okay, I just want, if he entered his role as admin, okay, I have to print it as a welcome admin. And after, if he matches the admin, compulsory use a break, right? So I'm just using the break. And in the another case, if he is a user, okay, user if he is a user, we need to welcome him as a user. Okay, so this is an example. Okay, I just given integer variable and I just want to give it in the string also, so I'm just giving like that. Okay, welcome user, welcome user. If we entered other than admin and the user, I just want to enter default section. Okay, dot println as unknown user or unknown role. Okay, so now we will save this and run this Java application. Okay, so it asking me enter your role. Okay, I will enter something like this, developer. Okay, see, it's just giving as a unknown role. Now let me run this again and let me enter the admin. Let's see, it's saying as a welcome admin. So this base, it's checking the conditions here. Okay, it's nothing but, so whatever the data we are giving, it's checking with what the giving in our cases. Okay, if this cases matches, okay, then it will execute. Okay, then it will come out of this loop. Okay, whatever the switch statement we have, it will come out of that loop. So this is a way where we can use the switch statement. Okay, in real time, so we are daily going with an ATM machines, right? So I just given all the examples with the ATM. So imagine like, imagine when we entered our after inserting our ATM card, and it asks us, it asks like a deposit or withdraw or balance inquiry, right? So basically think like that, based on our input. Okay, if you want to if like, we can implement our switch condition statement, or in the TV remote also. Okay, so when we given the TV channel numbers, right? So in the dishes we have the channel numbers. When we enter the channel numbers, it will directly go to that channel number. Okay, there also we can use a switch. So basically those are the examples for the switch statements and how it works. Okay, so those are the switch statements. And today, and I want to explain the small topic here, so which is nothing but access modifiers. You're already using that, which is nothing but public. Here we are all using the public, right? So in our class name and in our main method we are using the public. So this is known as access modifiers. So let me explain that. So what is actually access modifiers and why we use access modifiers? Okay, what is the importance of the access modifiers? After after the access modifiers, okay, then I will explain the JSP. Okay, after taking some, I will take the JSP classes. Access modifiers. So access modifiers are nothing but when you want to control your program. Okay, when you want to control your program level visibility. Okay, like so here I have one, right? So imagine I have one class. Okay, that has to be visible, or like classes or the methods in that classes or the variables in that classes, it has to be applicable to that program itself. Okay, so then we use access modifiers to control the visibility of your classes or methods, or also. Okay, access modifiers control visibility of the classes and methods I have given to the my method, and also for the variables also. Okay, variables also. So here we have a different types of access modifiers. Okay, so in Java we have different types, which is nothing but first we have the public. So we mostly use the public. So public is nothing but, so it can accessible whatever, if you are given to the variable, if you are given to the method, if you are given to the class, that class or method or variable can be accessible anywhere. That can be accessible anywhere in your program, anywhere in your program or in your project. Okay, in your program, accessible everywhere. And just like a public, we have private. Okay, private. So here the private is nothing but it can accessible whenever you have given private variable or private method or private class. Those are applicable only inside that class itself. Okay, it can accessible only inside the class, only inside the same class, in that same class. Okay, and we also have the protected. Protected, so it can accessible in same package. We created the package, right, in the same package, and the subclasses. So subclasses will be come to you in the after when we discussing in the object oriented. So don't worry about the subclasses, but in the same package, imagine like a same package. And we also have the default. So default is nothing but there is no modifier for that, no modifier, but by default also we can take the class name, because here I am taking the public class switch condition, right? Without public also the class can be which means nothing but the default. It can be accessible only in the same package. If you have using like this, okay, without a public, it will be used in the basic theory package itself. So here also we can say it as it can accessible only in the same package. Same package. See, imagine if I have taken one room in my institute. Okay, in my some institute I have one room. Okay, so that room can be accessible to only me. That room is only accessible to me, so then we call it as a private. So when we use the private keyword for that class, or the variables or the methods in that class, that can be accessible in that class itself. Okay, that can be accessible to my class itself. What about the protected? Okay, so imagine my floor itself, my floor head was protected. Okay, he can accessible within his floor, within his floor. Okay, what about the public? The public is nothing but the CEO. He can access anywhere, any floor and any room in my institute. The best example I can give for the public, private, and protected and default. So protected and default are no difference, but in case of a subclasses, protected will be different. So the without the access modifiers, we can it can access only in the same package itself. Okay, so mostly we use this classes, packages, and subclasses. So though we have to use the only this. Okay, so for these examples, we will discuss in the upcoming classes of the in the object oriented. But I just want to explain this public, private, and protected and the default keywords, so that because we are daily using those keywords, like I am using the public keyword, but we don't know what is a public keyword. So that is an access modifier. So we can access this method from anywhere in this project. Okay, so that is a basic example. Uh, we will explain in the OOPS concept. So we will use a private and protected in the OOPS concept. So then we will get to know now. And I also explained about all the data types, but I didn't give any examples like a non-primitive data type of a string, right? So I will give some rough idea with the string, so you get to know actually. So string is in a data type, but it is in a sequence of the characters. Okay, we have the character data type in the primitive data type, right? So it's nothing but a sequence of the character. Okay, so what is actually character? Character name equals to a, but what about the string? String name equals to Radha. Okay, here you're getting the difference between the character and the string, right? So here, oh sorry, here the character is nothing but a single character, single alphabetical uh, character. Here, the string is nothing but the sequence of character itself. Okay, the sequence of the character itself. But in the Java, the string is in Java, the string a class. Okay, the string treated as a class in Java. String treated as a treated as a class. Okay, it is an a class. It's not a primitive data type. It is not primitive data type, but it is a non-primitive data type. So it is treated as a class. Okay, so it has a class of a string. And one more thing, the strings are immutable. Strings are immutable. Once you have created, they cannot be changed. Once you have created, immutable meaning is nothing but once created cannot be changed or cannot be update or something like that. Okay, so once if you have created like this string name equals to Radha, okay, string name equals to Radha, you can't change that name by using the modifications or anything like that. Okay, and we have we can create the strings in the different ways. Okay, you can initialize like this string name equals to Radha, or I have already said, okay, string treated as a class, so you can also create the object of the class. Okay, as a scanner class, here this is a scanner class. Okay, I'm calling the class. When I want to create the object, what I am using, I'm just giving the object name and the new keyword and the class name, right? So here also you can just give it like that. Okay, here also you can just give it like that. String is a class name. I'm just giving the string because class name and just taking the variable to create the object of that by using the new keyword and the string. And here in the string I am just giving the whatever the string I want to create. So there is a two ways to create the strings in our Java. So this is basic way we will do that. Okay, this is a class level when we create the object of that class, okay, using the new keyword. Okay, either way it is good. Okay, and in the strings we have different types of methods, like common methods. So when you want to find out this name, okay, name length, what is the length of this name, you can use a dot length method. Okay, this will comes in the upcoming classes when I will explain you about all the functions and everything. Okay, so this is in a basic idea because the string is in a sequence of the character. When you want to store your names like a data, okay, you have to use a data type of string. So it is a non-primitive data type. You can initialize the string with equals to, or you can initialize by using the new. Okay, while we create the objects, right? So just that we can create the string also. We can initialize the like this in the real time. The mostly username, password, emails, all those are stored as a string itself. Okay, so this is about the access modifiers and the strings and the conditional statements. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the loops. Okay, we have the loops in our Java, so we will discuss in the tomorrow class. Okay, now till now if you have any doubts regarding anything, guys, you can ask me. If you didn't have any doubts, you can take a small break like a 2 to 3 minutes or 3 to 4 minutes, and after that we will discuss about the JSP. Yesterday we created login page, right? So if else we use the if else and created. Today we will do with some scriptlet tags. Okay, so already explained you, right? Scriptlet tags are used to encode the Java in the JSP. So we will use that scriptlet tags and we will do the JSP today. After sharply after 12:48 or 12:47 comebacks, I will start the JSP class. Okay, guys, come back. Now we'll go to the JSP. So when we are dealing with the JSP, we need to change the perspective because when we are creating the dynamic web elements, we'll create it in the Java EE perspective. Okay, so let me close this and open our JSP project. And here source main web app. Okay, inside the web app, actually let me run this. So before running that, let me stop my server here. Okay, I'll go to here and run our project. How to run our project? Right click on our project name, run as, run on server, and select the local server we install in our Eclipse, which is nothing but Tomcat. So click finish. Okay. Now, so yesterday we done with the login, right? Login page. We just given some random name like admin and admin. Okay. So if the two username and password is successful, so it will show you as a welcome admin and login successful. Yesterday we done with this, how to retrieve the form data and how to validate that form data. Okay, today we will go with the small example like a scriptlet and what is a scriptlets. Okay, we'll go with a brief discussion why we use the scriptlets and everything. Okay, so let me share this here. Okay, in the JSP we use the scriptlets tags. Okay, scriptlets in the JSP. So which is nothing but it allows to embedded the Java code directly into the JSP pages. Okay, so it allows embedding Java code directly in JSP. Okay, so what is the syntax? I already explained the syntax, right? Which is nothing but less than, percentile, and percentile greater than. Okay, so this is the syntax for the scriptlet tag. So whatever the code you want to write in the Java, you need to write in the scriptlet tags itself in the JSP pages. Okay, so I already explained, but I will give one example like here. Okay, take the example like so scriptlet tags. Okay, I just want to write the Java code in between the scriptlet tags. But let me write it here itself then. What is the problem? In the welcome page, let me take another link like example. I'm just taking as an example. Okay, so you know, right, why we use anchor tags for the static navigation. So let me give the address to navigate example.jsp, but example.jsp file is not present in our web app, right? So let me create one file here in the JSP file example.jsp. So here I want to execute the code. Okay, I want to write or I want to sum the sum of the. Okay, so here let me share it as integer a equals to 6 and equals to 10. Okay, so now let me sum it up a plus b. I think here I need to give the equals to, right? Now this is a product. Okay, this is the addition of the two numbers. Now I need to print it out. Okay, I need to print it out the sum. Okay, let me take the h3 here, and the sum is, okay, and the sum is again I want to print it out this Java sum variable. Okay, when you want to print it out the data, okay, you have to use expression tag directly to your JSP pages. Okay, here let me use a sum and save it. Okay, and welcome file also I am saving it. Now go to the our web page and go to the welcome file. Okay, this is our welcome file, right? So here I have example. Okay, by default I given the values as a 5 and okay something else. When I click on example, see it giving me the sum, and it is not giving any scripted tags or equals to symbol or nothing. Okay, whatever I given in my okay in my example page, it's directly encoding my Java value directly into the JSP page. I have to use a expression now. Mm, so you already, I think, idea of how to insert an image in the JSP. So if not only in the JSP, you can insert in the HTML also. Basically, this is an HTML tag itself. Okay, we have to use the image tag. Okay, to insert an image in your JSP pages. So here you can give the source. Okay, so source. So you can here you need to give the source of the images you have in your system. Let me take one image here. What is this image? Okay, let me take this and save it in your here. Okay, let me share it in this. Let me create one folder as imh. Okay, let me copy paste it that image in here. Okay, I just have one image here and I saved it in a imh folder. Okay, now you have to give the source where is that image is there. Okay, so you need to give the basically the file address, okay, of the path. Okay, here let me give the address as imh/a dot jpg. Okay, jpg, this is a source is an attribute where the image has there. Okay, that is in a path of that image. And we also have the attribute known as alt. So alt is when there is an error on load your image, this alt will be represent. Okay, this alt will be works. Okay, when I given see I am changing, I'm changing a1. Here I have a, but I want to show you how the alt work. When it get the error, okay, it will show you whatever the alt value is there. Okay, this is an alt attribute and this is a value, it will be there. Now you can also give directly the width of that image if you want the 200 width, and if you want the height as some 100. Okay, you can directly give it, and we'll go to that page and just refresh this. See, I have the image, but I just randomly given the wrong image. Okay, so if you fail to load that image, whatever the value you have given in the alt attribute, that value will be displayed here. Okay, so let me change back to my image and save it and refresh it here. See, the image is visible. Okay, the image is visible. So this is how we will place an image in our JSP pages. And when you want to give the list, okay, like a menus or category or a drop downs, okay, so that is also possible here. So when you want to take another H2 or something else, okay, so when you want to list it out, give the course list or anything. Okay, I just want to give the course list. Okay, just given the heading. To give another list, we use the UL. Okay, UL is nothing but the another list. Inside the another list, I want to give the list it out all my points. Okay, whatever there is. I have my core Java as a core course. Inside that UL, I'm just giving one more list as a JSP. Okay, and one more list as a JDBC. Okay, JDBC. Now save it and refresh it. Okay, see, this is a heading and this is a list. So when you want to list it out in your program, you have to use a another list UL. Inside the UL tag, you have to create L I tags, which is a list. Okay, that is a list. So we need to create that. And when you want to create the tables, okay, when you want to create the table, you have to take the simple table tag here, okay, which is nothing but a table tag. Okay, inside the table tag we have inside the table tag you can just simply give it like this, for the table row, or you can give the t header, okay, t head, and we have the t body also, and we also have the t footer also. Okay, don't need to worry about that. T foot. Okay, so inside the t head, for this is in a row. Okay, it's in a table row. Inside in a table row, if you want to give the header, okay, for each row, in the row we have to create the columns, right? So in the table th, so let me show you this first, then we will show you that. In the table we need to give the attribute as a border to display the border of the table. Let me give it as a 2 and save it and refresh it here. Okay, see, here I'm getting something, but I can't see pure entire table, right? So let me give the, in the tr, let me give one header. Okay, so here let me give as a serial number in the t header and refresh this. See, this is a serial number and this is in a header file. So for this header, okay, this is in the header. For this header, I want to give the some data in my body. Okay, so what here we need to do? Same tr, we need to take the table row for this. Okay, and for that header, I want to give one data, right? So I just simply giving one. Okay, save it and refresh it. See, for this serial number, I have given 1. So just like that, if you want to create the row here, okay, in this row itself, I have to give the th, okay, th and the name. And let me give the email also here, email, and what we have, mobile number. Okay, so let me see how it looks now. See, I just developed one row here. Okay, in the table header, I just given one header here, but not the values. Okay, so here you have to give the, in the T body, I have to give the values. I have to give the values. Same T header. Sorry, I have to here, I need to give the table data. TD, this is TD. Just going with the flow. TD and mobile number, something like this. Okay, now save it and refresh this. See, so this is how we have to create the table in our JSP pages. Okay, when we are dealing with our project, right? So whenever you get a request of, whenever you get a requirement to create a table, you need to use the table tag. Okay, you need to use the table tag and the T header and T body and the T footer. Okay, so this is how you need to create the list and image and the tables in the JSP pages. Okay, so I think that's enough for the today's class. Okay, so we just know how to include the image and the list and the table, and also the scriptlet tags. Okay, why we use the scriptlet tags and the expression tag, we use it, right? So just to do all, like in the previous class we done the login. Okay, today we done this, right? So just try to do everything in the pro in the practice. Okay, login and example things, and just let me know if you face any issues or anything in the upcoming classes. Okay, so just do the practice daily on whatever the classes are going on, like JSP or or else in the core Java. Okay, do it, practice it, and if you face any issues, let me know. I am here. Okay, I will help you. You can come here and you can unmute yourself and you can ask your doubt, or you can ping me in the chat box, or you can ping me in the WhatsApp also. Okay, that's a class for the today's guys. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me, or else you can you and me. It's good. Okay, guys. Thank you.